Today, the world begins to say goodbye to former First Lady Rosalynn Carter. She died more than a week ago at the age of 96. Right now, the public has the opportunity to pay their respects to Mrs. Carter in person. She's lying in repose at the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library and Museum in Atlanta. You're taking a live look at those events right now. The public is welcome to visit until 10 tonight. Mrs. Carter's remains arrived at the museum around 3:15 today. The family held a private ceremony followed by another short service for library, museum, and Carter Center staff. The motorcade passed through Butler, Fort Valley, Byron, and Forsyth today. The Central Georgians pulled over to watch them on their way to Atlanta. A group in Macon watched the procession from the Sardis Church Road overpass. Several say they didn't want to miss the historic moment. Carol Martin says her best friend was Mrs. Carter's hairdresser, and she wanted to come pay her respects to the beautiful woman she was fortunate enough to meet. She was in Plains last week when she heard of the First Lady's death.
It was just a real somber occasion just to ride down the same roads and go and visit the place that their home was, and she was still there, and her family. It was a beautiful day.
Ms. Martin says she tries to see every president who has stopped by Macon, including Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, and more. She says she came out to honor Mrs. Carter and to keep up that tradition. Services to honor Mrs. Carter continue Tuesday and Wednesday. Tomorrow, the motorcade will leave the Carter Center at 11:30 for a 1 p.m. tribute service at Glenn Memorial Auditorium on Emory's campus. And on Wednesday, the 29th, there'll be a funeral procession to Maranatha Baptist Church with a formal funeral starting at 11. People are asked to pay their respects from Bond Street and Highway 280 through downtown as Mrs. Carter goes back to her home for the final time, where there's a private interment. For the schedule of events and more on her life and legacy, visit 13WMAZ.com.